Hello everybody, welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is turn 31 of our series replay for Strategic Command American Civil War. We're just going to jump right into it. We'll advance the turn. 1st Arkansas Cavalry suffers attrition losses. No worry, they are in one of the Indian capitals. And my Kentucky Cavalry also suffers. Confederate fighting spirit falls due to the loss of Petersburg. Union celebrates capture of Petersburg. Union celebrates capture at Chattanooga. Union celebrates capture of Meridian. We were on a roll. The Chickasaw surrender. Union plunders 35 MPP. Anything else? European support for Confederacy drops due to the occupation of Chattanooga. Confederate partisans cause disruption in Arkansas and Missouri. Fort Pulaski blocks Savannah Port. Here's the ledger for next turn. Looks like it's raining again, at least in Georgia and South Carolina. Yep, so we knew that Confederate Cavalry Division was going to occupy Washington, North Carolina. That's all right. We're in position to respond to that. All right, so the Cavalry Division in London was only able to reinforce up to 6 points. So we ought to be able to clear it out this turn. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, they got that whole division. Or, excuse me, that was a whole infantry corps. At least we were able to hang on to Chattanooga, at least so far. They got him down to 1 strength, though. Alright, so the computer is trying to take back some of the Atlantic ports. That's alright. Garnet Mountain Division suffers attrition losses due to lack of supply. And partisans cause disruption in Tennessee. And Missouri again. And Kentucky. And there is our blockade report. Alright, so something I want to look at. 2nd Corps destroyed, got to reconstitute them. Okay, so there's our activity summary. Intelligence spots a infantry division near Jacksonville, Alabama. Alright, so I'm going to need a cavalry unit along the coast. And if I remember correctly, nope, Grant doesn't have a cavalry unit yet, so... Okay, I can use rail from there. Alright. So since I'm sitting over here, this is where the map's starting me. Repair those 2 gunboats. Upgrade these 2 infantry units. And then let's move out onto the water. Alright, so he needs to go in for supply. These guys are fine. Fort Jefferson, we just keep rotating here. Anybody here? Yeah, it looks like I got 2. No, I got 3 that are at 7. Alright, so we'll just pull 2 of them in. Oh, is he set up? Nope, not yet. Continue to bring all of my monitors back. Hopefully by the time they get back to the level 10 ports, I'll be able to upgrade them. Alright, so... Oh, so we got 2 cavalry divisions over here, okay. Alright, so working our way up the Atlantic coast here. Before we get involved in the fighting in North Carolina. See, do I have... I can land him here. Push out our security zone a little bit so we don't get surprised like that again. There we go. And we're still within General Howard's command and control. Alright, anybody else? General Sheridan. Alright, so that's going to do it for all the stuff on the coastline. So let's go ahead and get back to Petersburg and the Virginia-Caroline border. Now, do I want to attack or do I just want to move up? I got a number of units that need to be reinforced. Those are not great odds. Alright, so time's on our side. So let me use this turn to go ahead and get some of my guys back up to strength. With the exception of that one battle. So with the exception of 1 or 2 small places, that pretty much clears the Confederacy out of Virginia. Go ahead and finish upgrading and reinforcing here. How far up can I get General Thomas? That'll do. Get defenses behind the river there. Cut off Keysville. That'll bag me another cavalry division next turn. Yeah, not great odds. I'll play defense down here over by Danville until I'm able to get some more troops in. So that brigade just holds on to Tylersville. See if I can't reinforce any of these guys before we try to advance on Bristol. Alright, so nothing more we can do over there on the east. Can we finally finish off this cavalry unit? Yep, there we go. Nope, nobody's in Tazewell. Awesome. There we go. That'll help him with supply. Now, can I get him down here? Yes, I can. Try to reinforce our position around Chattanooga. Anybody else up here that I can move? Nope. Alright. Alright, so General Pope's forces. See if we can't threaten a end around Chattanooga. Actually, it'll look more like a threat on Atlanta than anything else. But the idea is to go ahead and cut the line in between them. Alright, so moving on to General Grant's forces. Going to take a while. Unfortunately, I have the mortars on a road, not on a rail line, so it's going to take them a little while to get caught up. Anybody any tall? Nope. Ah. Alright, so we got these guys cut off in Livingston. Hopefully their computer won't send anybody out to kill 7th Corps on me. That was a bad move. I didn't mean to move them right up against Livingston. I meant to stop here, but my aim was off. And we get Jackson without a fight. So I'm just trying to get some more troops over Sherman's way. I don't know, there's something in the back of my head telling me that I'm going to need them. Pope and Sherman, I think, are going to wind up doing the lion's head share of the fighting over the next couple of turns. Just kind of an itch in the back of my head telling me that's the way it's going to be. Alright, let's see if we can get General Halleck's Army of the Arkansas back up to 100%. get him back to Fort Smith. Now I got to be careful with moving down into Arkadelphia because there is a spawn point down here. There we go. But I want to try and cut off Arkansas from Texas. See if I can have one or two of the cavalry units move out here to take Homer and Minden. So then the only communication that Shreveport has with the east is going to be the Red River, which General Grant is going to wind up cutting, and General Halleck will cut as they move down either side of the Mississippi. Alright, so out here in the west, so they did not attack as I had hoped they would. So I'll move up on Tulsa. We'll be ready to make a supported or prepared attack next turn. Now let's just go ahead and go straight for the capital here. And yes, we get it. Have him move in. He's the strongest. Try and get him out of there so they don't wipe him out. Oh, we got some decent odds here against the Rangers. Oh, we might be able to get him. Oh no, damage evaded. Alright. Has anybody not attacked? Nope, all of them have attacked. Okay. Alright, but there is no supply coming his way. And we get Fort Washita back without a fight. It looks like Chattahoochee is unoccupied, but I don't have anybody that can get there. Alright, that is it for the Western Theater. Moving along pretty nice. Now over here in the far west, we're trying to get these guys out of here. And that's going to take care of that. Alright, so that is going to be it for our operational and combat movement. A couple of things I want to look at real quick. So, reports. Okay, so the Confederacy supposedly has got about 47 units, 47 ground units left. This represents forts. And still the 3 river ironclads, okay. At least according to our intelligence reports. So now, graphs, what I wanted to look at. Alright, so we're steadily getting Union fighting spirit back up there. And as of right now, Confederate fighting spirit's down to 34. Now, unlike World War I, Strategic Command American World War I don't have to get the Confederacy down to 0. I just got to get them down to 10%, and that will be enough. And that's what I wanted to look at real quick. Okay, so moving on to research. I only got 295 points left. There's really not anything I want to do here. So I don't think I have enough to purchase anything. Not really. unless I actually wanted to purchase. It takes 12 turns before I get this ship of the line. So it's really kind of not worth it. So I'm not gonna spend the money. All right. So that's gonna do it for this turn. Let's go ahead and advance. Confederate fighting spirit falls to the loss of Jackson. Union celebrates the capture of Jackson. Seminole surrender. Union plunders 43 MPP. Alright, so he's on the transfer point, so 2 turns later he'll show up around Topeka, Kansas. Confederate bushwhackers causing disruption in Missouri again. You'd think they'd find a new hobby. Fort Pulaski blocks Savannah Harbor. Union develops cavalry equipment level 3. That maxes that out, I think. No, I think they go to 4. Alright, weapons, naval weapons development 100%, so we have naval weapons level 1. That should help out my monitors. There's our ledger for next turn. See how the Confederacy responds to my reinforcing the Atlantic coast on the ground, I mean. So it looks like they swapped out those cavalry units. Oh, they were actually able to reinforce the Rangers a little bit. Alright, so the gunboats head back to New Orleans. Or the riverboats, I mean. Confederates try to retake Chattanooga or not. Don't think so. Nope. Okay, so we're moving into the transition. So partisans causing problems in Mississippi. Pulaski blocks Savannah. There is our blockade report. And there is our activity summary. Intelligence spots an infantry division in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That is it for the infantry reports. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and start with the monitors. Alright, anything else with ships? Yep, down here. Anybody got to pull out of there? Yep. The 6. And that's 7. Alright, anybody down here? Nope. So that moves us over to Fort Jefferson. And then finally Mobile and Nolans. Take a risk here. I'll bring him in order to upgrade him. Alright, so that's going to take care of the Atlantic Ocean stuff. Head over here to far west. I still got to move all these folks out of here. Alright, so before I move them, go ahead and upgrade them. And that'll take care of far west, so let's go ahead and move into the Indian territories on the Western Theater. And we will take Tulsa. I have full confidence, yep. Alright, so how do I want to do this? Oh, 0 to 6, okay. And no, he does not take any damage. Okay, so in that case, since none of these guys had to attack, just going to reinforce them real quick in preparation for the push into Texas. He'll stick around to occupy the capital. Alright, and that's going to take care of the Army of the Arkansas. Actually, I really don't need him to stay in Fort Smith. I mean, I really don't see any Confederate units pushing through the Ozarks trying to get up here. Alright, finish getting the Army of the Mississippi back up to snuff. Alright, so now, that was a risk. There could have been somebody in Minden, but I didn't think so. I was pretty sure the only thing over here is the garrison in Shreveport. Now their visibility, I can see into Minden and Homer, see into Camden. There's nothing along here. And we will set up for the assault on Vicksburg. I still don't have him on a rail line yet. There we go. Now I gotta upgrade all of these riverboats. Just in time, too. Alright, upgrade these folks. Alright, so these units have already been upgraded. Let me see. Do I have... No, because I moved him in there. I don't have a port available now, so we'll have to use rail movement, which actually works better. Actually, let me go ahead and add him to General Pope's forces. Replace that corps that we lost. Alright, so is that going to do it for the Army of the Tennessee? No, except for General Sherman's half. it took a lot of damage. Alright, but that grabs Livingston for us. Yes, he can upgrade. Okay, let me take that risk now. I'm running into more and more level 4 equipment Confederate forces, so where I can, I'm going to take the chance to upgrade my guys. Alright, so Sherman's going to split off from Grant now. I'm going to have Sherman push towards Montgomery. And also have Pope head in that direction. Alright, now for clearing out the environs around Chattanooga. So yeah, because he's a 4 and he's got 1 skirmishers. Both of them do. So I got to get my best unit up in there. And I hate to do this, but alright, I can't upgrade them, but cut off communications into here. Get as close to Huntsville as I can. Alright, so that gives us the Cumberland Gap. I'll go ahead and reinforce these guys before they go ahead and attack Bristol. Alright, so that takes care of the Central Theater. Now back over here to Virginia and North Carolina. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get these guys upgraded. Because there's another 4. But let's see if we can get Keysville finally. Nope. Maybe next turn. And I still can't get him his elite reinforcements. Alright. Alright, so do we want to cross the river? Yes and no. I'm debating whether to move everybody down or go ahead and get them reinforced and upgraded. As I do, I keep running into more and more level 4 Confederate infantry units with at least level 1 skirmishers. So let me go ahead and bite the bullet. Try and get everybody as upgraded as I can. Alright, now I can finally get Thomas where I want him. Alright, so that brings us over to Tidewater. We're going to take Plymouth back. Alright, not enough movement points to get to Washington. That's okay. Alright, so once we reestablish land communication between north and south, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get General Howard's army marching down to Georgetown and ultimately Charleston, and see how the computer responds to that. Alright, so who we got here? That's General Sheridan. Do I have any more? Well, I'll go ahead and upgrade him, even though, because I can't guarantee that once he lands down here in the south, can't guarantee I'm going to be able to upgrade him. Alright. So yeah, cavalry equipment. That had one more level to go. Naval weaponry. Overspend there. Alright, now reconstitute that corps. I don't get the reduced price. Probably because I waited a turn. Alright, so that's only going to leave me 183. Alright, well that is going to do it for this episode. Thanks again, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share, drop a comment, all that wonderful stuff. And I will see you on the next one.